Ms. Sarelson, you've just testified about all the things the department has done to help my client. I want to talk about the things the department did not do. Did you, in fact, contact the minor's father?
Yes, I did. I made contact with the jail several times by phone. I also made attempts to contact the case manager at the jail to try and set up to be able to visit the jail and find out the procedures. In addition, I sent letters to the jail trying to contact your client, and I also recorded all of these things in the diligent search log in my notes.
Which relatives, if any, did you contact or consider as placement options for the minor?
I contacted both paternal and maternal relatives. The paternal grandparents were in North Dakota and the maternal were in Oregon.
Did you contact the maternal aunt in Colorado?
Yes, I did. I've made numerous attempts to contact the maternal aunt in Colorado. I also initiated an ICPC home study to examine whether placement would be appropriate.
Ms. Sarelson, why are you recommending to this court that the permanency plan be changed from reunification to adoption?
At this point, the parents have not demonstrated an ability to be able to safely care for their child. DFS and the MDT team continue to be concerned that the parents will not be able to meet the basic needs to be able to safely care, and that the child could be at this point hurt or perhaps even worse.
Ms. Sarelson, you have testified that you developed a comprehensive case plan with my client. My client didn't complete the whole case plan, is that correct?
That's correct.
How did you help my client with that case plan?
I met with your client on a weekly basis. We set up times to break down what was expected from the case plan. We talked about what kinds of things were going well, what kinds of things might be barriers, and what additional things needed to be worked on that week to make progress through the case plan.
Now, if my client had a question about the case plan, did you help her understand the elements of the plan, and was she able to ask you questions?
Absolutely. We established the goals together in a way where she was able to use her own language to depict what it was that was going to be required, and we met regularly to address any kinds of concerns or questions.
Isn't it true that between the months of April and May of this year, my client contacted your office and cell over 30 times and you never once answered her call?
It is true that at first we had a hard time connecting. We continued to miss one another when we would call. And at that point, I established a weekly scheduled time that we would make sure to have set each week so that we could have contact, make sure that if there were any questions, that there was a set time to do those things.
How did you involve my client in the minor's IEP meetings and doctor's appointments? Did you invite my client to meetings and appointments?
Yes, I invited Mom to all appointments, both medical and IEP or any other educational appointments. I assisted Mom on a couple of occasions with transportation. We set up in the case plan for Mom to contact me within 48 hours before any appointment if she needed ride or if she needed bus tokens so that I could provide that support to her.
Ms. Sarelson, why did you recommend that the child stay in foster care?
The mom continues to demonstrate unsafe behavior during visits. I'm concerned about the child's emotional and physical health at this point.
Isn't it true that my client has had over 10 clean UAs and has made all visits?
Absolutely, that is true. I have been under the court order that if Mom doesn't complete 15 clean UAs, then at that point we're not able to proceed with moving forward in the case until those 15 UAs have been completed. And so at this point that is interfering with us being able to move forward since we have only reached 10.
Isn't it true that my client completed a parenting class?
Yes, your client did successfully complete a parenting class. The case plan requires that she be able to demonstrate the parenting skills during her visitations, and at this point that is not occurring.
What are the safety risks that you've identified that are preventing you from placing the child with my client?
At this point, I'm concerned that the safety concerns that led to removal have not been taken care of, and at this point, if the child returns to the home, those same safety concerns will interfere with the child's ability to remain safe and the parent's ability to, at this point, take care of the child. Mom has not shown an ability during visits at this point to be able to safely interact emotionally or physically with the child. And in addition, last week, there was an arrest of your client for criminal behavior.
Ms. Harrelson, can you tell me what it would take for this child to be returned to placement with my client?
I'm one member of the MDT team, and so unless the judge were to make the decision outside of the MDT's recommendation, the entire MDT team would need to have a unanimous recommendation to return the child back to your client.
Ladies and gentlemen, the court finds that the evidence clearly shows DFS made reasonable efforts to finalize the reunification goal in this case. The court further finds the evidence to show that in spite of those reasonable efforts, the child cannot be returned to her mother. As a result, the court will approve changing the permanency plan from reunification to adoption.